muted.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And like I said, this is our last minute push for fundraising and recruitment. I'm going to talk a little bit about recruitment for teams also. But the hope of this webinar is to just give you some last minute tips on how to not only recruit but also fundraise for your various events. As I mentioned, I think a lot of you guys have either ones on the 7th or the 14th, and they're all coming up. So it's just a way for us to just think about thinking outside of the box and coming up with some creative fundraising ideas. And if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me at any point and ask them. You don't have to wait till the end of the webinar to ask. So before I get started, I don't know if all of you have received this, but we hope you have. We actually are in the middle of a Double Your Donation Challenge, and this is being provided by our generous national sponsor, PhotoCure. And what it is that, from now until May 3rd, anytime there's a donation given, PhotoCure will match it up to $25,000, up until we reach a goal of $25,000. So that means if you $10 or someone donates $10, that 10 becomes 20, the 25 becomes 50, the 50 becomes 100, so on. So we are in the midst of it. We haven't May 3rd. So please, please, please encourage your friends, families, colleagues to donate so that those funds can be matched. And if you also have, if your company has matching gifts or matching gift program, those funds can also be matched also. So you would just have to know or somehow mark on your page that you have matching gifts coming, so we'll know to include it during this challenge period.
So I have a question. On my, like I sent out an email and I have a page where the Jaywalkers, so if somebody donates $10 to our goal of 2,000, then you're saying it will be matched and that will go towards our 2,000?
It doesn't necessarily go towards your individual 2,000. It goes to the overall goal. So they're saying that they're giving us a grant of $25,000. So up to that $25,000, it'll go to the national goal. So if during the time period we reach 25,000, they'll give us 25,000. So within that $25,000, your $10 is included in that, or the person who gave you the $10 is included in that.
Okay, but the matching part goes to a separate fund, you're saying?
Right. So you won't necessarily see it on your individual, but it's going to be applied to the national goal.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, because, yeah, we're part of the Team Jefferson. So I guess that the same thing for them. Because our 2,000 goes towards their goal, right?
Right. So it'll all, in the grand scheme of things, it goes up. It really goes towards the big goal that we have of 600,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? All right. And if you have any additional questions, please always feel free to use our help desk at beacon.org. Laura's there. She's very quick, responsive. Of course, you can always call us here in the office or email either myself or Jean, and we're definitely help you or answer any questions you may have.
Okay, and you're Natalie, correct?
Yes, I'm Natalie, and Jean's here with me also. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Hi, Jean.
So let me start by saying, whether you're talking about fundraising or recruitment, you want to talk about who's in your network, because these are the people that are either going to join your team, help you fundraise, or at least help you spread the word, or even donate to help you reach your goals. So think about your social groups, your church groups, your book clubs, your neighbors. Use social media, phone calls. I think we forget sometimes that, yes, we have our phones, but we don't pick up the phone to call each other anymore. We just go straight to, let's inbox them or send them an email. The times that I know for me, my commute is an hour, I could probably call 6 people right now and say, can you join me on May 7th in D.C. and walk with me, or at least donate, or join my team, or form a team for that matter. So don't forget about picking up the phone. Also, still use your emails to reach out to your networks. And when you do reach out to them, talk about why you're doing this, why you're amped up to participate in this event. Is it because you lost a loved one to bladder cancer, or you want them to know about Beacon's mission, you want to further this cause? There are a lot of new things coming on the horizon within the bladder cancer research world. There's talk about immunotherapies. There's even talks about new therapies coming up that we haven't had, because we haven't had any in 30 years. So those are things to talk about with your family and friends when you're trying to get them amped up as to why they should participate in your event. As I mentioned before, I'm still going to talk about recruitment. And the one thing about recruitment I want to encourage is teams. Teams equal more participants, which means more money to support our mission. And it makes it easier to raise funds, or even, have a presence the day of your event. So think about that. It's not too late to form a team. If you're walking as an individual or participating as an individual, you can still invite people and quickly form a team. If you're having problems setting up a team website, please, like I said, use the help desk at beacon.org, or you can even call myself or Jean, and we'll help you set that up. Convert your current page from an individual to a team page. Now, how do you recruit for your team at this point? Well, it's very simple. You can ask your family, your friends, your coworkers. Like I said, if you have that men's group or that men's cave that you guys meet every Thursday for poker, those men could be a part of your team. For women, it could be that Mary Kay group that you work with. Um, any of those groups or networks make great team members. Get them to bring their family and friends. If you have 5 friends and you ask them to bring a friend, that's 10 more. That's 5 additional people. That's 10 people on your team. Think about corporate teams. If you have colleagues who understand why you're doing this, create a corporate team, and I have quite a few this year around the country. So that's another option. Generate a statement. Think about what you could do before, during, or after that you can use do with your team members. Is it that you guys have a little recruitment party where you're having some free food and beverage, and you're making signs and T-shirts or banners the night before or the week before your event, or maybe you do something afterwards where you like go for brunch or lunch after your event and celebrate. Think about that. And why should someone get involved? Um, Share your stories or facts. Make it personal. Make them understand why this is important. Why is it important for them to get amped up for these events? And of course, I have some tips here. Like I said, think outside of the box. Your book clubs, your walking groups, PTAs at your gym, social clubs. Ladies' night out or a poker night. So all of those are different networks that you can think or use to recruit for your team. As I mentioned before, you have to make sure you ask. If you don't ask, you'll miss the opportunity to talk about your event or even your walk. Talk up the information why it's important for them to participate. Um, like I mentioned before, you could always do something post-walk. Treat your team members to a lunch or a brunch or even snacks. You know, the whole point of us changing this to amp up was because we wanted to promote healthy living, healthy lifestyles. So maybe it's, having some healthy snacks afterwards. Um, Going for those healthy smoothies that everybody loves these days. Um, Last minute registration events. You could always do bagels and coffee after church. You can do a movie night, a T-shirt, a banner, party, like that. Those are all quick ways to get people to register. Just have them, you can have registration forms or have your laptop ready to go. I mean, it's as simple as using your iPad at this point or a tablet to register people. You can even do a raffle at the walk for your team members. Someone who's best dressed, who's the best orange tutu, who decorated their amped up shirt the best. I know most of you don't have your shirts for this year, but you can take any of your last year's shirts, decorate them, decorate them as to why you're walking. I'm walking for my dad, or put your team name and some funky bedazzlement on it and walk. Those are ideas that you can use for recruitment activities. And, think of challenges the day, who can bring the most additional people that day. We all are able to register people the day of the event on site. So feel free. Do not be afraid to have people come on site and register and join you the day of your event. Are there any questions, or anybody have any additional tips for last minute recruitment?
Nope. We can post it on Facebook? Is that okay?
Oh yes, definitely. I say Facebook, it'll spread like wildfire. If you have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, all of this stuff will spread like wildfire. I would encourage that. Even if a person isn't in your particular city, so if you are in Philly, but you have a lot of friends and family in Albany, you can encourage them to do the same event in Albany. It may not be the same day, but it's still with the same purpose in mind. So, encourage them. I encourage social media, to be honest. And, it'll spread like wildfire. So, yes, definitely. Social media is encouraged.
Okay. Okay.
So some team practices, like I said before, with your teams, have fun with it. Personalize. If you haven't personalized your team page or even your personal page, please do. It's important to let people know why you're doing this. Is it because of a loved one? If it's because Beacon is near and dear to your heart, you volunteered for so long or whatever. Those are why people need to know what you're doing.
And I just wanted to mention that we have support if you need any guidance on our webpage, beacon.org/organizers, or Laura, helpdesk@beacon.org. So don't be shy. We're happy to help you with this.
Creative names. I've seen some of them all. Bladder cancer pisses me off. I have seen Bladder Day Saints. I think that's probably my favorite one. And it's a win. That's from North Alabama, Charlotte Madison. Team boxers, briefs, or depends. I mean, people have used them all. I don't think I've been shocked by any of the team names thus far. But, be creative with your team names. Same thing with your banners and your T-shirts. I've seen some awesome things that have come across in regards to banners and T-shirts the day of the event. Don't forget to say thank you once it's all said and done. Take a team photo and send it out to your donors, even your team members. If you were the one who took the group shot, send them. And you can send it via email, you can send it via text, Instagram, put it all on Facebook. Send a note that says thank you for their support after the event. I would encourage you, do not stop after your event date has been held. If you send your team photo out with a note that says, we missed you today, but it's not too late, I guarantee you'll probably get additional donations or additional support after your event. You can also use them as visual cues, so putting them on posters and postcards from your pictures from last year to promote this year. You can use that as part of visual cues to get people amped up and register for your team or even donate. Those are things that you can do. Put them on a donation jar and have a donation form or a registration form next to that jar to have people support. Make sure your link is on there. If you need to personalize your link for your page, please do not hesitate to contact us or even contact the help desk. You can personalize the URL so it doesn't have to be that funky long URL that you're sending out. You can make it so that it's support.beacon.org amp-up/Natalie or whatever you want it to be. But we can help you customize it so that it's not some long funky URL to send out. So please make sure you do that. Now we're on to fundraising ideas, and here's some quick ones. I know that these are things that you can do within the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of fundraising. And that includes silent auction and raffles, Dine to Donate, Office Top Chef. I mean, I know for us, we've tried Office Top Chef, and I probably got that off of it, but I'm going to be walking it off soon, so it doesn't matter. How many orange M&Ms are in a jar? And the person who's closest to that number, people make a donation to make a guess, and then the person who's closest to that number can get all those M&Ms. Putting contest, having the little putt in your office, pay $1 or pay $5 to get closest to the putt. Closest to the hole, or make a hole in one, and maybe they'll get a prize. Instead of eating out for the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe you want to brown bag it, and the money that you would save eating out, you would use towards donations for your page. Wine tasting. You can have something at your home or, somewhere close by where family and friends come by and bring a bottle or pay to purchase a bottle that has been brought, or pay to have a tasting of the bottles that have been brought in. So those are some quick tips that you can use as we get closer to the event. Are there any questions or comments, ideas?
I have a just quick comment. Sometimes I talk to people and they think it's too late, it's too close, but really we're at the most active time here. So as Natalie was saying, you can even continue afterwards, but we're seeing everything is, the most activity is in the period we're about to enter now. So don't ever feel it's too late.
Okay.
Anybody else have comments?
Now, I did it for our fundraiser. We're having T-shirts made up. My husband's name was Jay, who died of bladder cancer. So our team name's the Jaywalkers. So we offered anyone who donates $25 or more a T-shirt. So, because I got a really good price on the T-shirts. So that seems to be working a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's a great idea, and it also sparks uniformity, unity for the day of the event, and even afterwards, if you wanted to wear it on the day of his birthday, everyone on your team can still do something like that to honor his memory. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, last year the walk was on his birthday, May 2nd, but this year it's not till the 14th, but it still was just ironic that last year, he died 2 weeks before his birthday, so it was kind of ironic that happened that way. But anyway, that's what we're doing, and that seems to, and a couple people were like, oh, just keep the T-shirt. So we'll see. So I didn't have a date put on the T-shirt, just the Jaywalkers, so, and, the B can amp up on there, so, yeah, how it goes. But that's the only thing I've done and sent out emails, but I'm going to post it on Facebook to reach out to other people that I, did, like you said, not around here. I have to
And
check and see.
You'll be surprised how many people will support and just say, this is just something I wanted to do in memory or just to support you in your efforts. So, don't be afraid to ask. And here's some additional tips. Like I said, you can do a spare change jar of M&Ms or jelly beans, bake sales. I will pay $1 for a bag of cookies. I have a sweet tooth. I will definitely pay a bag, and it's going to a good cause. So you're helping me with my sweet tooth, and I'm helping you with your cause.
Right.
Team challenges. Think about how who on your team, or challenge your team members to raise the most money by the event day. Even though everybody's probably raising money now, you can do, especially with the double your funds or double your donation challenge. Let's, from now until May 3rd, who can help us double our money or bring in the most money. And then remind your team members that Beacon has a fundraising incentive program, Noisemaker Incentive Program, and it ends June 15th, which is why I said even though you may have an event on May 7th or 14th or 1st or the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Continue the fundraising until afterwards. The more you fundraise, the better the prizes. I have to admit, these are some good prizes this year. So, you know, that ends on June 15th. So don't be keep going with it. It's not, it doesn't end the day that it ends. Keep going. Matching gift programs. I cannot stress how much money you can lose out on, or we lose out on when we don't ask our companies about matching gifts. I know, I mean, there are a lot of people, especially if you work with big corporations, that will match gifts to nonprofits. And it may take time, but, you know, here at Beacon, we'll fill that paperwork out. All you have to do is send it in to us. You can email it, fax it, scan it, whatever you have to do. We'll help you get that paperwork completed and double the fund for you. And like I said before, get lunch or your Starbucks or your Peace Coffee or Dunkin' Donuts for that matter the week before, and use that money that you would have spent on those little weaknesses to support your effort.
It's also good for shy people who are not comfortable asking for funds, but if they can, you know, put something up.
Yeah, that's probably a good way. Letting people know why, like I said, why are you doing this? You can provide some quick facts, either tell them or even post them via social media. You know, bladder cancer is the 5th most common. What's a sign? A common sign is blood in your urine. And if you see that, go see your doctor to rule out bladder cancer. And talk about the recurrence rate. You know, a lot of us in the cost, how expensive it is to treat bladder cancer on a per patient basis. Those are things that people don't know about. And because they may not know about it, they're willing to provide, you know, assistance or come and participate, donate, support you for that. And then, of course, why are you amped up? I can't stress it enough. Telling others why you're participating and why Beacon is important to you.
Okay.
So final tips I have: customize your team pages and your personal pages. Emails, make those phone calls. I promise you, if you take a moment, of course hands-free, while you're commuting home, and just call 5 people, I promise you'll probably get at least 2 or 3 donations out of those phone calls on your way home. Social media, I encourage social media, and I've even dropped in, I'm not sure, I hope everyone can see the file. I dropped in a social media tips file. We have hashtags this year. Hashtag amp up Beacon. Hashtag amp up. Hashtag all kinds of stuff. I can't even remember all of them. But those hashtags you can use for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And that will help us find why you're walking, why you're amped up. We can see your videos and your pictures, and it'll all come through. And if you make sure you're using the day of the event so that we can all see around the country what people are doing to get amped up and why they're doing this for Beacon. Send and say thank you. I cannot stress that enough. It is those little things that will keep you happy and keep them coming back year after year. If they didn't do it, it's okay. You know, I'm not mad, but thank you for your consideration. Thank you for your donation. Thank you for participating. It means a lot to me. Those are things that will keep those relationships going. So when it comes to next year, or, somebody's thinking about it later on down the line, they're like, oh, let me help them. Let me give them another few extra dollars so they can reach their goal. Think about snail mail. I know it's, not the best method, but send a little note or postcard asking people to join you or to support you.
And sometimes getting a letter is so much nicer than an email, too.
Yes. I mean, I get a lot of mail, but sometimes I just want something good versus something like a bill. So think about using snail mail to ask people to support.
Okay. I'm trying to log into my thing. I lost, I forget my password and username, so I'm trying to reset everything. It's a mess.
Well, if you need help with that, just contact helpdesk@beacon.org, and they will help you get that information. Also, maximize your fundraising efforts. As I mentioned before, matching gifts, employer matching, which is a little different. You can ask your employer, if I raise 100, will you match me with 100? Or if I go dollar for dollar, will you go dollar for dollar with me? Also, put that AMP Up logo in your email signatures. I promise you it's a conversation starter. What's Amped Up? Oh, it's an event that I'm doing in memory or in honor of or to support. It'll get them started and probably get them to come to your page because you can link you can always link the logo to your personal page, to the AMP Up main page, or to your team page. So use that as a resource also to maximize your efforts. And now we've come to the end. And, I didn't want to keep everybody all night, but are there any questions, comments, ideas?
I have a couple of things I want to mention. This is Marge.
Okay, go.
In past years, you sent us a box of stuff. It had registration table, like sign-in signs, cancer bands, tickets to pick up your T-shirts. Are you doing that again?
Oh, yes.
Yes, and they're starting to go out now.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to get a new banner of some sort?
Yes.
They're going out on Saturday, March.
Okay. I just didn't know whether I should dig out everything from last year and see what I had, but if you're sending out...
No. We rebranded everything, so everything has the AMP Up logo, so you're getting new stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's great. And then, we have the concern about the privacy issue with obtaining email addresses, phone numbers, addresses, that sort of thing. So what was it that you suggested we do at the walk? When people sign in and register, perhaps have a form or something
Right.
they can voluntarily put in their email address?
Right. So you can have a sign, like, for instance, you're the chapter president for Lehigh Valley. I would suggest if you're looking for people to join, support, have a sign-in sheet so they can put their name, phone number, and email address so that you can contact them so they can freely say, oh, I want to be contacted by the Lehigh Valley chapter, and they can sign up that way.
Okay, so then it's no issue with privacy or anything.
Correct.
You supply that information.
I just had one thought, and you might be doing this already, but one way we collect names when we go to events is to have a goodie, like a raffle, and sometimes people will happily give their contact information if there's a chance of winning a prize.
Sure, yep.
Any other questions, comments, ideas?
The only other thing I want to mention is I want to reinforce what you said about snail mail and about thank yous. I do both very, very heavily, and it always seems to pay off for me.
Okay.
I mean, I think sometimes we forget those things, and you know, it's those little things that will go a long way.
100%.
Okay. Send out thank yous.
Are there any other questions, comments, ideas, best practices? And after this is over with, we will post this. I will send this back out, and I will also put out some other additional best practices and quick tips that you can use in the next coming weeks and days and afterwards.
Okay.
Well, if there isn't anything else, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I'm very amped up here in our office. It's amped up everywhere. I think it threw up amped up in our office here. But we, you know, the staff here at Beacon, we're very much appreciative for everything that you have done to support our efforts, to support the event's efforts, to getting the word out, not only about Amped Up, but about Beacon and our program and its mission and its services. You'll probably see some of us at the various events. I know I will be out at Central PA. I think Jean will be in Philly, Jersey Shore, Chicago. I'll be in D.C., Baltimore, and Triangle. So we have staff members or board members who will be out at some of the other ones across the country. So you'll definitely see Beacon's face at a lot more events this year. And that's just because we want to make sure that you know that we're appreciative and that we thank you for everything that you're doing. And we just want to be out there amped up and walking and participating with you guys. I know everybody's not doing a walk, but majority of you guys are. So, and it's hard for me not to say walk after so many years. But really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks.
Yep, thanks for all your help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Night.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.